Good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve LeVay, head mentor in the T3 Live Trade the Morning chat room. Welcome to today's afternoon recap. We've got a market that is completely in government limbo right now. Let's take it right to the charts and talk about it. Here is the spiders. And as you can see, we started off on the right foot here, but we sold off a little bit in the first 15 minutes, bounced. Looked like we were going to get a nice little bullish chart right here. A little bit of a W pattern, but like I said, we're in limbo, so every time something negative comes out about the talks breaking down, we get hit. We got hit a little bit here, and then right around 2:30, they said the talks broke off and the market just fell out of bed. We fell $1.20 on the spider. So right now, currently we're down about 10 on the S&Ps, 107 on the Dow, and down 18 on the NASDAQ. And I'll tell you, this is unbelievable. I mean, it's very hard to take positions in this market because if you walk out of the office without putting out stops, all of a sudden you're getting smacked on some news that you don't even expect to have happen. So be very careful. Make sure you put out stops. You walk away from your computer. Make sure that when you're in your positions you have good entries and good exits. So let's talk about a couple of charts we're looking at. Let's talk about Facebook first of all. Facebook had a pretty nice open. Okay, you've got your 5-minute high trade right here. Beautiful, beautiful move. Went from a high of 50 and a quarter all the way to 51, and then once it hit 51, it retreated pretty hard. You got to move right back to 49.80, and then a little bit of a bear flag, and it broke when the market broke right here. And here we are right now. We're still positive on Facebook, up about 7 cents. And I got to tell you, if this thing can hold up, if they do resolve this before Thursday, Facebook to me looks like it's going to go to 55. I mean, this thing holding up amazingly considering the carnage that the market has seen over the last week or so. And if they do solve this debt thing, all of a sudden Facebook is probably the strongest thing out there, and people are going to migrate to it. So look for that high of 51.60 to get taken out and a probable move to 55. Again, earnings in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I think right around Halloween, October 30th. We might stay in this range until then, but if they do solve the crisis, all of a sudden, boom, we probably break out of there and see 55. Let's talk about Apple. Apple's still somewhat strong as well considering the market. Here is a daily of Apple, and again, right here you saw your big sell-off. I think this was from earnings. Then we rallied all the way back up to almost 500, pulled back, and now you got a little bit of a rounded bottom here. Some say it's a inverse head and shoulders right here. I'm not sure if it's that pretty, but again, if Apple can hold 500 and stay above there, odds are, we can probably see that 520 area sooner than later. Before earnings, who knows? Earnings come up on the 28th, so again, make sure, guys, when your stocks have earnings. It would be horrible if you're long or short Apple and not realizing it had earnings after the bell and you get stuck. So make sure you trade, with caution, knowing your dates. Earnings season in full gear now. Today we got stocks like Yahoo and amongst others. So, I know Google and ISRG are on Thursday. So keep that in the back of your mind. So Apple, again, like I said, if you look at the 5-minute of this one, here's your open right here. Nice move up to about 501.70. Sold off, pushed back up again, kind of double topped around that 501.70 area, and then the market collapsed, and so did the stock. It fell $3 or $4 almost. And now we're getting a little bit of a bear flag pattern right here. Again, depending on what the last half hour or hour of the market does, we might get a little bit of a bounce of the highs. Right now, Apple's still hanging around 499, 500. If we break this area right here, my guess is that we probably head back down to the 495 range. Let's talk about a couple of stocks we looked at in the morning room. Let's talk about XONE first and foremost. This stock has been setting up pretty nicely. I'll go to a daily first here. Big down move over the last 2 months, I would say, from 70 to where they did an offering up here at 62, and the stock continuously sold to about 42, where it showed you a nice little bottom right here. Okay, you draw your lines right here on this stock, and we got a beautiful bounce over 3 days here. Got us to about 50 to 53 on the chart. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 times it tried to get through 53, knowing that the 100-day is 53 and a quarter. Today, the stock broke out pretty nicely above that area. Unfortunately, it's succumbing to market pressure right now, but nice big move off the bell. Beautiful 5-minute high-low trade right here. 52.80 being your high. You could have bought through that, and the stock went right to 54.50 before any type of meaningful pullback. And, we held up pretty well most of the day. And again, even strong stocks like this will succumb to market weakness. They announced that the talks have stopped, and the stock fell $1, almost $2 from the highs there. So XONE is still on my radar pretty much every day, but it's gotten a little bit more difficult the more volume it's doing, for me at least. I don't like when the stocks do 2-3 million shares. I like when they do somewhere between 500,000 and a million. And this one's been trading very well today. Why? Because it's got 700,000 shares traded. So XONE is one to keep on your radars as well. Talk about the solars real quick. Solars, let's look at JKS, for instance. They gapped up nicely and, again, pulled back with the market. Here's JKS. What we found in the morning room today was a nice move off the bottom and then a rounded top here. Mike and I were able to catch a nice short around 23.85, right around this rounded top with a 15-cent loss limit. So no matter, the one thing that people always ask me is how much are you risking in the stock? Well, guess what? I'm only risking 15 cents no matter what size I'm trading. Could be tier 1, tier 25. The fact is I'm risking 15 cents on that position. And that's the way I want people to think. And, if you know you're only risking 15 cents to make 75.80, you would do that no matter what type of position size you're taking. So if you think like that and you try not to think about it too much in terms of how much you're investing in the trade, it's a big difference. I risked 15 cents of pain, and guess what? I covered all the way down here at about 23.10. So we made a decent trade. We even were able to short a little bit more on the bounce back up, but caught this nice move, covered in the 23.10 area. A very nice trade, and again, small risk, big reward. That's the idea behind what we do in our trade the morning room. Try to put ourselves in the best position to make money while risking smaller amounts of money. Other than that, there's a couple stocks we're still watching. Let's talk about SSYS. This one, is a little more difficult to trade than the DDDs of the world and the X1s of the world, but guess what? The market collapsed right this afternoon, and this stock really didn't pull back at all. Here we are right now. We're up 107.10, and it's up almost $3. So here's your trade right here. Nice up move. Little bit of a pullback to the 50 period on the 5-minute, and then just riding the 50 period up until it broke out higher here. Very impressed with the hold in this stock considering the market. So this has to be one that we keep on the radar for tomorrow. If we get any strength on these debt talks, all of a sudden this thing's probably going to see new all-time highs, which currently sit right here at 113.48. So keep this one on the radar. And one that I had for off the charts last night, DDD, again, still really strong. I mean, you had this big move down here, but minus that little action right there. This stock's in a nice $5 bullish consolidation wedge here, or channel even. Okay, here's your big move up, bull flag, another move up. And this is consolidating. Minus that one day where it broke through that, this stock is looking like it wants to get above this all-time high. So again, if it breaks this 55 or 56 and a quarter, this stock's going to 60. So it might be a good options play to pick up some options with a stop around 53.30, which is the 8-day. But if I was entering the stock around 55, half 56, my stops would be around 40. So if you, I'm sorry, 54. So if you buy some options on that and you want to buy some calls, that could be a way to play it. Avoid getting annoyed with gyrations in the market. So with that, everybody, like I said, we are in a little bit of market limbo right now. Be very careful with your overnights. You don't want to take too much risk and have the market go the other way of what you're thinking. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to stay away from. I'm really limiting my risk in this market because at any given second, all of a sudden the market could turn on a dime based on what they're saying out of Washington. So keep that in the back of your mind, everybody. And with that, everybody have a great day. I will talk to you all on the VTF.